Hello. Hi. It's been a while. Let's just cut to the chase, right? I am Mewzen. I am the former DJ of the new core band 𝗲𝗲. Last August, I think it's August 25th or 26th or some shit, an article hits the internet basically accusing me of like being a pedophile and grooming someone. This person that I've been accused of grooming was my friend of over 6+ years and one of my best friends. You can't really tell that through the article. There's a lot of things, a lot of realities, and a lot of facts that this article does a really good job of omitting. It's kind of like they grabbed every single little worst thing that I've said and perfectly curated it to make me look as bad as possible. This was years and years and years before 𝗲𝗲 ever existed. I was not a popular person. This was over 8 years ago. I was 20 years old at the time of the screenshots that you could see, and this person was about to turn 17 years old. This person, like I said, would eventually be my friend of over 6+ years, and then one of my best friends. I met this person in a Marilyn Manson Facebook group. Already a red flag. I know that. Didn't quite know that at the time. That's just what growing up is about, learning. I met this person in a Marilyn Manson Facebook group. They added me, and I just accepted it. I accepted anyone that like sent me a friend request from that group. I kind of felt like the only people who could understand me or could relate to me in any sort of way were Marilyn Manson fans, because I had this really like naive thought that like, oh, I get these kind of lessons and values from this kind of music and the lyrics that he would speak, and that's what I clung on to for years. I just accepted anyone that would add me then, because I was pretty lonely. Ever since I was like 11 years old, I pretty much had been kind of living like a neat lifestyle. I'd wake up, hop on the computer, play like RuneScape or a bunch of games and stuff, go to school, hate my life, but then I'd just go right back, to the computer right when I got home from school. My entire life was pretty much there. And all of my social experiences from then, not all, but most of them, pretty much consisted of me, like, it was online, in a video game, in a virtual world, basically trying to not be the person I was in real life, because I hated myself. Me and this person, he added me. We immediately started talking, and we kind of clicked pretty quick. I tend to be pretty cool to talk with, really friendly at least. I can relate a lot with, music. So the first thing we started doing was talking about music. And we bonded over our love of Marilyn Manson and our love of Lady Gaga and, a bunch of other bands. Like, they're into, like, a lot of this gothy stuff that I was into. Bonded a lot through music, through talking about, we're both, well, I think they're gay, but I'm bisexual. So we bonded a lot through, talking about that, talking about our experiences, with religious people and our parents and all that stuff. And throughout this entire time, it never occurred to either of us to like ask how old we were, because we were both young, 20 and 16. It's like this massive difference, but like we were so similar. I had friends that were underage when I was 20 years old. It was normal to me. And when I was 16, I also had friends that were adults. It was normal to me. Like, you're young. Like, especially, like, now I'm 27 now. I'm going to be 28 in a couple months. To some other people, 20, you're supposed to be in college already. You're already supposed to be moving into adulthood and all that shit. And 16, you're still in high school. I tried going to college, and then when I went to college, it was pretty much like absolute misery, like the entire time, especially because my girlfriend had just broken up with me. Like, this is all just the months before, the screenshots. There wasn't really much that happened between high school and like that time for me to really feel like there was much of a difference, and we didn't talk about anything like that. And during our conversations, it kind of got flirtatious, and we started kind of liking each other. And eventually, like he sent me nudes. I would later learn that's kind of like the thing he liked to do. And then after, he mentioned his age, and you could see that in the screenshots. And I was like, oh shit, literally, oh fuck, okay, I need to delete that. And we did. We deleted it. So after he sends me the nudes, like I said, I apologize for being involved at all. Like, I had no fucking clue that he was underage. I don't know. Like, I saw pictures of him, like his face and shit, and I was like, oh, he looks like a cute guy. He's around my age. Turns out when you're 20, around your age is a risky time. You know, like I'm 27 now, around my age, all clear, all fine. No one gives a fuck if someone's like 23 or whatever the fuck, and you're 27 or whatever. But like 20 and 16, I apologized. He apologized. Kind of freaked the fuck out. The article is just like a sequence of like all of the fucking, just every moment where like he would flirt with me, and then I would get horny, and then I would just kind of give in, and then he would just cut out. They just cut out all the parts, almost all, because some people caught on to like, hey, some people were like, hey, doesn't it seem like he's leading him on? You know, but the article is pretty much like it's like a greatest hits album of like all of my fuck ups with that person at that time. And it's great work, I'll say. We were both, confused, and like we were already friends for like months by this point. We were friends for months. We'd grown these kind of like feelings towards each other for quite a while. We both thought we were closer in age, and you could see that in the article. It's like in the article. They left it there. But after I ghosted him for a week, I just kept talking to him because we were friends already. This was retarded. I should have blocked his ass, because that's what I would do now. Like, if someone was like texting me in any flirty capacity, and like I knew that they liked me like that, especially if something like this like a confusion like that happened, yo, block, goodbye, hell no. Like, that's not happening. But at the time, I just like didn't do that. But as we kept talking, those feelings kind of remained. You could see some of it in the article, but I have more screenshots again, link in the description. And he kept pressuring me and pressuring me and pressuring me and pressuring me. He wanted to send more nudes. He had done this with multiple people. He's kind of notorious for like, this playbook is like, they find a cute or hot guy in whatever group that they were in, and then they'd befriend them and talk to them and, and just flirt with them. And then eventually they'd send them, they would send nudes to them. And I'm just another fucking person that they did that to. And I'm the only person that they ever did this to that I'm aware of that ever had a career. During these, flirts and conversations and stuff, he talks about how he frequently kind of looks for older men. And, like, he likes older men. He liked talking to older men and flirting with them and all that stuff. I understand that feeling. Because when I was 16, I was the same. Except for I never went out of my way to like hunt down older men. I had a lot of experiences when I was, underage that, involved older people, and it kind of like fucked my head up. I could talk a lot more about that because it's essentially I got groomed, but this is about me. This whole thing is about me not having groomed this person. I'm not going to start talking about what happened to me when I was 15, when I was 16, and my interactions with adults online. But as they kept pressuring, and as they kept pushing, and as they flirted, me being a 20-year-old lonely-ass kid, I guess I shouldn't say kid. To me, I was a kid, but to other people, I was an adult, because I guess you are an adult. At 18 years old, the government can give you a gun and say, hey, go shoot someone's brains out in some other country, and that makes you an adult. I just kind of gave in. I said some really stupid bullshit. Although I said I might have want more. I never got more. I never asked for more. But I did say I kind of want more. And that's pretty much the golden shit right there. The bad boy right there. Me saying you want more. And in the conversation, I said that in legal terms, it would be considered It's kind of different from like a child. When I was 16, I was horny as fuck. Either way, it doesn't matter. Like, none of these are excuses. But that's how a lot of like 20-year-olds are, in my experience. I've met a lot of 20-year-olds in my life. A lot of y'all are stupid as fuck because we're all stupid. I don't want to live in this like internet world where like everyone has to gaslight themselves into thinking that they're not like retarded and they don't make mistakes and they don't think fucked up things or have said fucked up things. I've met a lot of people. It's really weird how like a lot of people are like edgy and are willing to say kind of edgy shit and they're willing to like be real in real life, but then on the internet we have to all pretend that like we're perfect and oh, how dare you. I said what I said and it was retarded, and I did what I did and it was retarded. But I also think it's wrong to kind of like put out this article where you completely exclude yourself and your responsibility from it. When I was 16, I allowed myself to kind of get roped up in similar situations as this person, where I was interacting with older people and I liked the idea of being sexualized by adults. And that shit fucked me up. It fucked me up. And I was really fucking depressed for years as a result of it. But I got over it. I was the one there. I did that. I was on those fucking like I was in those communities. I was talking to those people. I was the one who was so lonely and so weak that I allowed these people to kind of like, do this. And I was a participant of it. I did that. I have to live with that. Just like a lot of people have to live with the things that they do. I know everyone likes to go online and pretend that they're perfect. Everyone likes to make fun of other people. And you're like, hey, kill yourself. Hey, you should go die. Haha, your career's over. Haha. It's just fucked up people trying to like, for this moment, I get to feel like one of the normal people. Like, I'm not fucked up. Look at that guy. That guy. He's worse. He's bad. He got caught with this thing. He said this thing, even though it was 8 years ago. And I have no idea the kind of person he is. And it doesn't matter all the good decisions and anything he's done since then. It doesn't matter. You did that. So you're that. Goodbye. The reality of the fact is that if you were me and you had lived the life that I had lived, and if you got an article with all of your bad stuff kind of cut up into this like greatest hits album and released out there without any of the beauty of your life, without any of the good, without any context of any of the good things that you've ever done, guess what people would be doing? There's 912 million decisions, something like that. But out of the billion decisions you make in your life, you're gonna make some bad ones. I never groomed this person, and all I ever did was be like, oh, I kind of want more. I've met so many awful people on tour. What I did is nowhere near as bad as what some people do. I'm a fan of artists that, have murdered people. I'm a fan of some rappers that have literally caused funerals. Do I think that's cool? No. They have to live with that. They're the ones that have to look in the mirror and look at that and think about that and think about the people that they've hurt, just like I have to look at my mistakes and think about my mistakes, and I've lived with my mistakes. You think this didn't affect me? You think I wanted to continue to do this? Your mistakes are meant to be learning opportunities, and if you don't learn from them, well, I feel like the people that feel like change is impossible in someone else are people that don't change themselves. They're people that hold on to this feeling that I've held on for many, many years, where it's like, I'm the worst. I'm a piece of shit. I'm evil. I'm so fucked up. I'm the most fucked up ever. When it's like, no, you're not. I've met really fucked up people, way more fucked up than me. I'm not like them. So, after all that happened, the events of these screenshots, we were still friends. They just kept flirting with me, but we also would talk about other stuff. And we just kept getting like closer as friends. By next year, he literally considered me one of his best and closest friends. Our relationship was just mostly talking about music. He would be my my LGBT correspondent. They just were like that person. They'd show me a lot of like female hip hop artists. They'd show me a lot of like, drag queens, and show me so much about like LGBT culture, like really cool things and really not cool things too. But like I appreciated that too, And we just were good friends. We'd help each other. We'd give each other advice. He'd come to me whenever he found a potential new boyfriend. We just kept being really good friends. And they consistently would say, they thought I was an incredible friend. They enjoyed being friends with me. Everything was great. It's kind of shocking how much of our messages are them sending me shit and then me kind of just ignoring them. Or then maybe sometimes replying. I know now that they were fucking crazy obsessed with me, but at the time I just didn't understand it at that, because I just didn't feel why, how could you like me? How could you find me attractive, or how could you really like me any deeper than just being a friend because I'm a nice guy? I now understand that just being a nice person's enough. When you're that lonely and you're that sad, I have been for a lot of my life, and how this person is, when you're just nice, it's all you need. After a couple years from when the bad screenshots are at, we both we talked about it in voice chat and stuff like that. We would eventually switch from Facebook to Discord. We both looked back at that time we were just young and dumb. We were just fucking stupid, horny fucking young people who just were confused and just I don't know, we just moved on from it. For a long time I kind of carried this guilt about what had happened, and by being friends with them and by talking with them, I was able to be okay, I'm not fucked up, everything's cool. But throughout this time, they still showed a lot of interest in me, and I just kind of didn't care much. When he turned 18, pretty much exactly when he turned 18, he started pursuing me a lot harder. I had said, hey, I don't want anything to do with a fucking underage person. I'm going to get in trouble. This isn't cool. This isn't right. No. But I was already with somebody else. I had just such a much deeper connection with this other person that I had already been with for years, that I just was why would I throw this out for, you? You're cool and you're cute, you're sweet, but I didn't like them like that. Apparently, I shattered his heart. I have screenshots, again, of all this stuff. It's going to be rolling across the screen. It got to a point at the time where, my boyfriend got really annoyed by them. They got jealous because, this guy is so flirtatious with you and just constantly trying to get with you. And so why do you still have him around? This was another opportunity where I should have been yo, bro, you're being weird. Can you stop? I don't think we can continue being friends if you're going to be like this. This is all shit that I would do now. But, at the time, I was just so, weak-minded. I couldn't say no a lot of times. It was really hard for me to tell someone to go fuck themselves. Hey, fuck off, Now I can do that. I've learned a lot. It's been 8 fucking years. A lot happens in 8 years. I think that's hard for younger people to, contextualize. Because if you're 16 watching this video, thinking about, when I'm 20, I'm going to be so much smarter than you. And maybe, regardless, he was, kind of obsessive. And I didn't see it. I would just see a red flag and I'd be it doesn't matter. Because my entire life, I've just always been a person who was really accepting of others. At a certain point, I realized how lonely they were. And I was yo, come join the rest of my friends. And I invited them to my server, where I had a bunch of friends, including Justin, including tons of people. Some people who were in at the time, the Hungry Lights community. Some other of my my more local friends that I'd met in high school and stuff like that. And they clicked well. This person was one of my homies. I introduced them to my homies. They were a part of my friend group. They weren't this secret thing that I was trying to hide or whatever. Everyone who knows me from back then knows who this fucking person is. They were friends with this person, or at least, tolerated being around them and shit. I'd have friends being yeah, he's kind of weird. Why do you have him around and stuff like that? But I was just oh, don't worry, because like I said, I think everyone's weird in their own ways. Everyone's flawed in their own ways. Everyone makes mistakes. Everyone acts weird, especially at that time. When you're 21, 22, 23, those years, you don't know what the fuck you're doing. Maybe some people do. A lot of the people that I've met, and I guess I surrounded myself with, were fuck-ups and idiots. I've met a lot of those people on tour. I've met a lot of you guys. I see how you guys talk to each other. You guys aren't that different from me, my friends. Like, he was just he was a friend. He was just one of my homies. But I had this, like, I guess, weird history that at that point I wasn't even thinking about no more. We fast forward to 2019. This person was in a relationship with one of my close friends here that I met in high school. They had met through my Discord server. He kind of does what he does, you know. He saw a guy and he got friendly with him, and they got together. They were together for a bunch of months, maybe a year. I kind of don't really remember, to be honest. My friend at the time, they're not my friends anymore, you know, they invited them over to New York. The person accusing me lived in Indiana. My friend from high school had this amazing idea of bringing this person over from Indiana for 2 weeks and giving them the time of their life. Like, the best. He was like, I'm going to be such a good boyfriend. I'm going to take them to all these different places in New York. I'm going to give them dates. I'm going to pamper them. I'm going to treat them so fucking good. And at the very fucking end of this 2-week time, I'm going to break up with them. I was pretty much like, yo, don't do this. Don't do this. But I didn't do anything about it because it's between you two. Like, it's not me doing this. Like, it's all right. I should have, like, been like, yo, don't come to New York. This dude's gonna like break up with you. I should have probably, you know, said something, but I didn't. So my accuser comes from Indiana to New York, and instead of this 2-week pampering and good boyfriend time or whatever, literally on the first day they break up because my accuser comes over to New York, and then immediately my friend is just like playing video games and like ignoring him and like drinking and just like not caring and like talking to his boys on like Call of Duty or where the fuck. The accuser paid money to come to New York to be with this person, and then they broke their heart. Like, it was fucked up. And so immediately after like the first 2 days of them being together, it was apparent that like it's not good for them to be in the same house. Like, he was literally like staying at his house. So me and my friends, we all like kind of took turns like taking care of this person. We all took care of my accuser throughout the week. Like, literally, like, okay, Mewzen, you have him for like a day or two, and then my other friends would have them for like a day or two. We would just like hang out and try to like have a good time. Don't think about the fact that you got your heart broken. We tried to make the best of it by like being good friends. But during that time when we were actually hanging out in New York, he already like found this guy in like New York that he was like, oh my God, I found this guy, and he, you know, he sent me his dick pic, and like I've been flirting with him, and he's so awesome, he's so amazing and stuff like that. And like literally he had plans to go fuck this guy. And then I met this person and we went to New York, and you know, they like, you know, kissed, and they were gonna, the plan was, you know, they're gonna go fuck and stuff like that. But me and him kind of had feelings come to light. Like, those old feelings started sparking up a lot. The way that this person kind of would behave with me was, you know, a little flirtatious, and I expressed my concerns about like, you know, it feels wrong because like, you're my friend's ex. It's wrong of me to like do anything with you. And I knew it was wrong. He was going to do these things with this guy and going to go fuck him or whatever the fuck. I was just kind of like literally like, okay, I'll go walk around the block while you guys do your thing or whatever. But then it turned into like, as we were hanging out, it just got more and more flirtatious. They were okay with it. I was okay with it. We were both consenting. During that time, we hooked up. I feel like this is stuff that normal people, like, it's just drama. It's just relationship drama. Regardless, I shouldn't have hooked up with him. Like, thinking about like my friend who had broken this guy's heart, he had thrown him to the fucking curb, threw him away like trash, which is this person's playbook, by the way. Get someone to like them, love them, oh, I love you, all that stuff, and then they just fucking throw him away like trash. They did this to this person, my accuser. They did this to my current girlfriend. Regardless, after we had this like little hookup, much to his disappointment, he had to go back home. And they sent me messages about how much of a good time they had, how much they, loved, hanging out with me and hooking up with me. Everything went back to normal. We started talking about art and music and working on art, and like they wanted to be a drag queen and all that stuff. And like I was trying to help them like find a place to like perform, and eventually he'd start talking about how much he missed me, how he had like withdrawals, I think was his wording, of New York and of me. They literally would talk about wanting to come back to New York and wanting to fuck, like, and wanted to hang out and stuff. Like he was like hella excited. He even made plans like to come back to New York in April of the next year. They were like, oh, if I have any time, maybe we could fuck or something, like that's what they fucking said. I have all the screenshots. After that, we kind of transitioned into this period where like for a while I'd wanted to hang out more with everyone in my Discord voice chat, because like it's so much better than just text chat. Like you're talking with them, you're hanging out. Like it's as close as you can get, to like actually hanging out in person. This person was one of those people. Like I said, like I established before, this is one of my homies, just one of my friends with benefits homies. Like that's kind of like the mentality that I had, and I thought that this person had. We kind of just transitioned into this period of time where we were hanging out a lot more there. So there's a lot of like talking, a lot of conversations and shit that happen in voice chat that, I can't really like screenshot. Like I'm not like a weirdo who like records all fucking voice stuff. Like I think it's crazy as fuck that like people are screenshotting shit from 8 years ago to try to fucking cancel you. Like I don't do that. I don't have a fucking folder. I have a folder now of like these screenshots because I need to defend myself. But like I don't have a if this person fucks me over, so you just wait. I got you saying this. In 2019, I had moved away from closer to New York. Like I said, we were hanging out on Discord. That included my friend who my accuser was in a relationship with, who had broken his heart. And they would hang out together in the Discord server. I remember it was awkward. Like they wouldn't really talk to each other at first, but everyone was hanging out. Everyone was chilling. There's a whole year plus of like times where like me and my now accuser and this person and multiple other people were all interacting with each other publicly in the server. Like it was just like normal. There wasn't no creepy shit going on. Like someone would have said something. In 2019, me and my current accuser, we were watching like we started watching horror movies together, and that was like so much fun. This was like the peak of our like relationship, to be honest. We kind of like exhausted how much we could talk about music. I kind of just wasn't really that interested in talking with him about music that much. During this whole time, I got the offer to audition for 𝗲𝗲, and I got it. As I was joining 𝗲𝗲, I, told some of my closest friends, which is including my accuser, because he was one of my closest friends. I considered him one of my closest friends, and because as did he for years. Everyone was great. Going into 2020, I went, to record 𝗵𝗔𝗄𝗄 with 𝗲𝗲. Once I started like actually leaving my house and like going to hang out with 𝗲𝗲 and like being around them, my life was just fucking dramatically changing. Every time I would hang out with 𝗲𝗲, would have more social experiences, more life experiences that I'd never fucking ever fucking had. Like and that's kind of how tour felt too. I've said this to many people. Like a week on tour feels like 3 weeks or like a month of experiences, because every day it's all these like personal, physical, like I'm talking to people, I'm hanging with people, I'm living with these different people, I'm experiencing all these different things. And like I swear to God, when we did 𝗵𝗔𝗄𝗄, I had not eaten a salad before. There's so many things that I've done for the first time, because like I said, I kind of like live that neat lifestyle of just like having the internet fucking just permanently affixed into my fucking brain. It was crazy. Like I would come back with so much like positivity that was weird, because I've always been like a really like anxious person, kind of a sad person. I think Justin said it best. I'm either 0 or 100. I would go out to be with 𝗁, and I would come back with like stories. I tried so hard not to like lord over people and be like, oh, I'm in 𝗁, I'm in a bed. No, I understand how like people can like have their perspective change about you based on like if you're succeeding. And then suddenly I'm with 𝗁, with Max and Justin. These people are like so confident. Like when I went to Mike Portnoy's house, I got to see this is what you could be like. You go out to suburbs for the first time and you walk into these houses and you're like, what the fuck? It's a trip. And even though all of my friends, including my accuser, were really happy, that I was in 𝗁 seemingly, I started like every time that I would go and come back, I started feeling a certain distance from two particular people. And one of them was the person who broke my accuser's heart the year before. The other one being the person I considered like my brother, pretty much. The brother that I chose. I made music with him for years. I taught him how to scream. I brought him to every concert I could. I brought him to the first couple 𝗁 shows that ever existed. The first 𝗁 show ever, he was there. The second show the 𝗁 ever had, he was there. When 𝗁 had the 𝗂𝗃 music video shoot, I lived in the area. I went out there. I was one of the sad people. And this person was also one of the sad people. We did everything together. And then once COVID hit and I kept hanging out with 𝗁 more, Justin kind of took that place. I'm talking more with Justin, and Justin's this incredibly motivating figure in my life and an amazing friend, and like I learned so much from him, and I learned so much from Derek, and I learned so much from Max, and like I was getting so much like confidence and life experiences from being with 𝗁. That person who broke my accuser's heart and did all that stuff then, and this person got more and more like closer, and I just got more distant with them. It was just weird. Like I would talk to them, but they just like acted different. And then eventually got to a point where like, like it was COVID, right? So like everyone was really paranoid. We couldn't really hang out. This is New Jersey, right? So we kind of, people were scared around here. It's not like the South. I know in Florida, no one gave a fuck, but in New Jersey, people cared. My friend, who I consider my brother, was kind of always like a really paranoid person. But, it was just weird. Like he got more negative. He gave up on music. I promised him like, as 𝗁 gets bigger, I will get bigger. As 𝗁 gets better, I will get better. As I make songs, you're going to be a part of that. You could share, you could have a piece of the pie. It was just weird to have the person I thought was my brother kind of get distant with me. This is relevant to the whole allegation thing. These people started hanging out less on my Discord server. I started hanging out less on the Discord server. I was like really anxious about the whole 𝗁 thing, but I was working, I was trying to get better. At a certain point, my accuser sends me a message and is like, hey, people aren't really hanging out on the server anymore. Is there like another server that I don't know about? And I told them about how the friend who I considered a brother and then my accuser's ex had a gaming server that I wasn't a part of. And then my accuser goes and joins their server with his ex that broke his heart into a million pieces and my friend who I considered a brother. Within 2 weeks, my accuser stops talking to me, period. And my other friends stopped talking to me for the most part as well. I would try to talk to them, and it would be really distant messages. Like, it was really cold. It was weird. I was just like, I'm focused on this 𝗁 thing. I can't deal with whatever's going on with this. My mom was like in the hospital with like a really fucking super scary like heart problem where she had to like literally get open heart surgery, and like I was practicing to do like the full 𝗁𝗃 album, which is the 𝗃'5/6 performance, which is my first ever real performance with 𝗁. All of a sudden these friends are like kind of like saying really awful shit about me, and pretty much what you see them alleging, in the article. They tried getting all my close friends to like turn against me. I was fucking deeply traumatized by that, but I was able to like pull up screenshots and be like, no, look, this is how we've been. Like, this is how our relationship has been this whole time. That eventually went away. But while that went away and I had regained a bunch of the friends that they had tried to like turn on me, they were gone completely. My accuser, that is when they became my accuser. And my friend, who was, my closest homie, my brother, and then the person who broke my accuser's heart. Apparently they got back together. I kind of feel like this person was gaslit by my other friends who were, I guess, building a negative idea of me because I hooked up with the accuser, right, after they were in a relationship with one of my friends. And then the other one, I would later find out through conversations that they had with some of my other friends that they were really jealous that they were not picked to be in 𝗲𝗲 because they were in all of those shows too. I was chosen to be in 𝗲𝗲 because I was there at all of the early 𝗲𝗲 shows and I'd go fucking nuts, in the audience, and I had this passion to be a musician and I'd been doing it, doing music with this person and other people as well. But I was a much closer friend to Justin. When Max asked Justin, hey, I'm thinking of we should get a turntable list. It was me that he thought of, not this person. That's just how things were. But this person had a problem with that. Now it's like, oh, okay, so 3 years later, you come back but now instead of trying to get my friends to not fuck with me, now you've curated this entire image of who I am for all these people on the internet to see. But the only thing I ever did to my accuser was break his heart. Like, that's kind of like the worst thing I could, say that I did to him. Like, I didn't reciprocate his love. And I kind of just like, instead of just being like, hey, fuck off, I just kind of like, hey, I'll still be your friend. Hey, I'll flirt, like every now and then. And then eventually, how we hooked up. That wouldn't happen now because that happened. I know what happens when you fuck with someone's feelings, even unwillingly. After, we stopped being friends, my life with 𝗲𝗲 pretty much begun. I did the 𝗃'5/6 performance. We would then go on tour with Avatar. I got with my girlfriend around that time, who does all my art. A lot of people know who she is, and I've been with her ever since then. Regarding my life, you could see play out through the 𝗲𝗲 vlogs, through Dom's vlog of the Avatar tour, through Justin's vlog of the All That Remains tour, showing, how I actually was. Especially the Avatar tour was crazy because that was my first ever tour, and I had to get used to having Dom's camera right in my face, and the All That Remains tour, with Justin's camera right up in my face, showing every moment, every fuck up, every stupid ass moment, but every good moment too. For every bad decision I've made 100 good ones. I don't feel like I'm that different from other people. Regarding my accuser, there is one more interaction that I had with them. When I went to this Dawn of Ashes show in New York City, they were there. When I walked in, I was the second person in line, and this person was the first person in line, and I didn't even know they were there. Like, I didn't know who they were because they were like in like a girl's outfit. It wasn't until like the person asked them their name, like, oh, what's your name? And they said their name. My brain melted. The first thing they did was walk up to one of the band members of one of the bands there and immediately start making out with him. And I was like, oh, I guess that's their new toy or whatever. I feel like maybe I should have just taken my ass home from that point. That would be what, like 2 years later, 2 years after, like we stopped talking and, they tried to fuck me over and all that shit. But I didn't, because I was like, I spent a lot of money to be here and I spent 2 hours traveling here. I also, instead of like being really discreet, like, and just like hiding in the shadows and like just enjoying the show, I like was in the mosh pit. I was singing along. The fucking singer pointed at me and was like, this guy's good, or whatever the fuck he did, and like, it's just, that was so stupid. Like, he's just begging for, to get fucked up or something. But nothing happened that night. I never spoke with them. I didn't interact with them. I barely even tried looking at them, but they must have noticed I was there, because a year and a half later, or however long it was, boom, comes out this article taking everything that happened between us and just cutting out all the good bits, taking the worst parts, spinning a lie behind it. It's just fucked up. Life goes on. During my time in 𝗲𝗲, I ran the social media, I ran the Patreon. I was the most forward member in the community besides Justin. That's where a lot of the rumors that have come out from then are based on. You see me at the merch table talking to fans, and now you see that that I have allegations on me involving grooming. You're like, I saw him talking to fans who are sometimes underage because they're at the merch table buying fucking merch and hanging out and talking. 𝗲𝗲 fans only have one of two kinds of fans for the most part. It's gonna be like millennials who are like into new metal, and then Gen Z people. I'm older Gen Z. I'm gonna be talking to other Gen Z people. I'm at the merch table almost every fucking night with someone. I'm with Justin. He's usually right there with his mask on, and I'm literally I'm like his voice. I'm representing the band. Like, I know how important it is for a fan to have a good experience like at a show. So every fucking time that I went to that merch table, even if I felt like shit, even if I felt like, oh man, I don't really want to talk to people today, I'm tired or whatever, the second a fan shows up, I'm all smiles, I'm energetic, I'm giving it my all, I'm having fun with them. But like, that turned into only after the allegations came out, because nobody said a single fucking thing before this article came out. Not one comment ever said anything about me being creepy or weird or anything like that to my fans until this allegation thing came out. I think it's just human behavior. I am very well aware that there's going to be people who A, won't watch this video at all, B, will watch the video for like 5 minutes and then be like, fuck this guy, 3, will watch it and not, like, they're just going to not be convinced. Or like, people are just going to say whatever they're going to say. People still leave comments on Dance Gavin Dance videos calling 𝗃𝗃 a rapist, even though he's not. Regardless of anything that I do or say in my entire fucking life, I could come out with the perfect video, with the perfect evidence, the perfect anything, everything. Doesn't matter. I could even rejoin 𝗲𝗲, anything. Doesn't matter. People will leave comments calling me a pedophile, calling me a groomer, calling me whatever. Like, that's just how people are. That's what my accuser and the other 2 friends wanted. They wanted that. They didn't want me to be in 𝗲𝗲 anymore. They didn't want me to be happy anymore. So it's just weird. It's fucked up. I tried so hard to like be good with our fans. How would people look at this stuff 20 years from now? Because I would always look back at, you know, when I would watch the Marilyn Manson documentaries, the Dead to the World tour, you know, the Slipknot ones, the Korn ones, you know, how would people interpret us, you know, at that time? We wanted to give everyone a real, honest, like, look. We didn't want to be too cool. People kind of want everyone to act like a K-pop band, where it's like you're kind of given these very small little bits of personality, and then you can kind of connect the dots with all the things that you want, you know. And then the more of those dots exist, they're kind of like more chances for people to like not like you, because it's like, oh well, I don't do things that way, I can't relate with that, I don't think that, or I wouldn't say that, or I wouldn't do that, so like I don't like that person now. I never wanted to do that. I always wanted to just be me. I think what 𝗲𝗲 is about, the lyrics in 𝗲𝗲 that Justin's always pushed forward, and not only in 𝗲𝗲 but also in Hungry Lights, and what he is about being real. Be real, be yourself, regardless of what people think of you. Like, yeah, I'm cringe, bro. I am cringe with a capital C. Like, I don't care. Like, I'll wear fucking cat ears. I will wear my goofy ass goth makeup. To me, not being yourself is like the ultimate cringe. Imagine being one of these people online pretending to not be cringe, pretending to not be flawed, pretending to not be like, to not have thought edgy things. Pretty much that whole allegation thing is done. Like, I just told you the whole story about me and this person. I said some really stupid shit back then, especially when I was talking about some of the people that I had interacted with when I was underage, who liked it when I was underage. That shit was fucking awful. When I think about those people that I used to be, you know, around, like, it fucking, for years and years and years, it would just give me fucking anxiety and like dread. But like, I accepted that I was a participant in all that. I accepted that I was the one, you know, who was involved in all that. I didn't throw my blame at anyone else. I never went to go take them down, you know, to get them fired from their shit. Not just get fired. And this article doesn't just want me to get fired from 𝗲𝗲. Basically, when you cancel someone, you're basically saying, You deserve no friends. You deserve no happiness. Your friends should disown you. Your family should disown you. Your band, everyone should disown you, and you should literally like go die in a hole, pretty much. Like that's what the effect of what that is. And that's what happened. Some of the people that like, I'd previously like like were friends with, they bye-bye. They go play Houdini, they vanish. Some of them leave their little snarky comments before they leave. Kick you when you're down. I get kicked out of 𝗲𝗲 the same day because everyone was like scared, of like backlash going to them. Because what happens? You go defend me, you get called a 𝗲 sympathizer or whatever, and now you're canceled. And I appreciate Justin for making like this whole podcast with one of my old friends, with James. I don't really talk to him anymore, but we used to be friends, and like they gave out like their like honest perception of like how everything was. Because like I said, this person, this accuser, is not this hidden little secret. Like he was one of my friends. He spoke at length to Justin and to other people about how he felt about me. Like he was very open about it, and it's unfortunate that this happened. I can assure you this never fucking happened with anyone else. Like I had other friends at the time who were underage. None of them have said, I've never flirted with them. I never did anything with them. That shit never happened with them. And when I was in 𝗲𝗲, I was always in a relationship with my current girlfriend. There were times where I was struggling with that relationship. I met some people on tour that really like, I clicked with. You could ask Justin, you could ask Derek. Like there was a time where I met this girl who pretty much looked a lot like my girlfriend, and I had these like feelings where it's like, yo, it's like I'm with her. I literally broke down crying like in front of them, and I had a nightmare of a night, because of that. Just was so depressed, and I had to really think about my relationship when that was happening. And then when I got home from that tour, I told my girlfriend, everything that happened, and we've had an even stronger relationship since then. She's still with me, and our relationship is even stronger than ever throughout everything that's happened. After the Hard Reset tour, that was such a positive experience, and after that I started live streaming. And when I started live streaming for the fans, I met so many amazing people on tour and in that live stream that I felt like were just like me. Some people were gonna be like, oh, you fucking creep, I bet the live stream was fucking good, you fucking creep, fucking breeding ground or whatever, grooming ground or whatever the fuck. But it would shock you how wholesome that environment was and how therapeutic it was. Like I still have fans reaching out and being like, I miss you. There were people that would say that like my live stream made their week. I'm never gonna get rid of this or anything like this. I have a bunch of little gifts from my fans that I've collected from tour. I don't give a fuck what you think about me or what these people think about me or what random ass idiots on a Facebook comment page on some metal news site that they always end up talking shit about 𝗲𝗲 anyway. They thought 𝗲𝗲 was cringe before I even joined the band. I had so many great experiences with them. I met so many amazing fucking people. I'll never forget when we were in Boston with Avatar, and there was a lovely fan who would talk about how 𝗲𝗲 and how these concerts helped them get through like their issues with schizophrenia. Or like there was this lovely fan, I gave her a hug because she started crying when she saw me. I just walked in from like the RV, and I see a fan. She's got the striped sweater, because I always wear stripes and shit. She just started bawling when she saw me. I know what it feels to be on the other side of that. I cry all the time when I go to concerts. When I saw Marilyn Manson for the first time, I cried. I don't give a fuck what you think about Marilyn Manson. I cried. When I saw Rise Against, I cried. I cried my eyes out when I saw Corey Taylor with Stone Sour, and I thought he pointed at me, which made I still remember the feeling. Or when all these fucking DJs would just like message me saying that I was like, their inspiration. I was bringing DJing back. There's a lot of new metal bands, and some of them have like turntables in their songs, but none of them have DJs. Very few of them got DJs, but 𝗲𝗲 did, and I really tried my hardest. I know I shouldn't try to live up to anyone else's expectations. you know. But I cared about those. I really did. I did. I'm like, I shouldn't have, but I did. I had so many conversations with Justin about like, you don't want to be the example of don't meet your heroes. I don't want to be fucked up and like crazy and shit when I'm like in my 40s, bro. You know, Justin is like the brightest star, you know, in 𝗲𝗲. I wanted to be a black star, you know. I wanted to shine the best that I could, but with my own colors, you know, in my own way. It's just unfortunate that this article that completely strips away anything good about who I am got so far. Partially has to do with, you know, I got kicked out pretty quick, and the message was we should probably worked on it, you know, a little more. Kind of came out a little harsh. I also know the people who accused me. I know them probably better than their parents do, and a lot of their friends. It was very much planned to be exactly at that time. It was like a couple of days before I was going to go on tour. We had to make a very rash decision. You know, if it was in the middle of like downtime, maybe I could have came out with a video or something with all the screenshots and shit before anything, and then I maybe wouldn't have been kicked out. I'm going to address some other little things on that article, like about my drug use or whatever. Literally anyone who's ever fucking met me on tour knows how much drugs I use, and that is very little. I have been a big addict of marijuana for a long time. I've been completely clean of that for like 2.5 weeks now, and that's been amazing. I also dropped caffeine. I just have a lot more energy, and like I feel like weed kind of made me more of a bitch, to be honest. Like, I don't know, I think I focused more on these like negative introspections a lot more. I only drank alcohol a little bit. Every time I would drink a fucking 𝗏𝗏, someone's got to make fun of me for it because they're like, oh, you're like a little fucking college girl or whatever. I've had a shot of whiskey. That shit sucks. I've only smoked weed. The person who said all the stuff at the in that article was the guy who is like sort of like my brother, who was like super fucking paranoid about a bunch of crazy shit. And I think he was doing some predictive work, you know, there. But sorry, buddy, that didn't work out. It's just crazy the amount of things that people are willing to say about you when they don't like you, when they're jealous of you, when they want to take you down, you know. And then all the people online who just go off and say all their crazy bullshit, who like that are even farther and farther from the truth. It's just ridiculous. People said crazy ass shit about 𝗲𝗲 and about members in 𝗲𝗲 before any of these allegations, and these allegations just made it more stronger on me. It is what it is. So I don't know how to end this video. I feel like I've said all I needed to say. I'm not a pedophile. I guess I could say that one more time. I have no interest in fucking your kids or fucking your teenagers. Every time that I hung out with an underage person at a 𝗲𝗏 show, their parents were right there. If I was doing something creepy, they would have fucking punched me in the face, like a lot of them said that they were going to after these allegations came out. Isn't it weird that you didn't fucking even like think about me doing anything? Like you're seeing the whole interaction of me and your like teenage fucking child right there. Like nothing was weird. But it's when the allegations come out, that's when you hate on me. Talk to your kid. Be like, did he do anything creepy to you? They all said no. Not a single fan has come out and said I did anything creepy. In fact, a bunch of fans, including underage fans, hit up my DMs on Instagram, the request section, and they're like, fuck you for what you did, but you never did anything creepy with me. Isn't it weird that not a single fan has come out saying I groomed them, saying I was creepy? Huh. Maybe it's because I wasn't fucking grooming you. Like, I know some people are like, oh, you shouldn't be talking to your fans anyway. It's like, that's stupid. Like, I'm a musician. We talk to our fans. Like, we're not fucking like, I don't have 1 million fucking followers. Like, it's not like some ridiculous shit. You got to network. You got to be friendly. I was trying to be the video guy for 𝗲𝗏, the photo guy for 𝗲𝗏, the photo editing, social media, thought brains, strategy. You know, I got us on the TikTok. You know, we got a lot of followers on TikTok because I was like, hey, let's put Justin's fucking vocal videos up on there. And they blew the fuck up and showed a whole new generation of people who Justin is and who 𝗲𝗏 was. I really fucking tried my best, but it doesn't matter because this article is there. It will always be there. Loudwire and Metal Injection and all these places are never going to delete the article. They're at most they'll maybe add a little thing saying update, a response video has been uploaded by Mewzen, blah blah, at the very bottom or top, and no one's gonna click on that shit. None of those places ever reached out to like confirm or a statement or anything. Nothing. None of that shit ever happened. I still love Tala. I love Justin. I love Max. I love Derek. I love Alex. And, you know, that will never change. I did what I did for the love of that band, for the love of the people that were supporting that band and supporting me. Because I knew what that band meant to all the people that love that band. When people say, come on, man, like, why did you do that? We looked up to you. I didn't do anything wrong. Like, I didn't groom anyone. I didn't do anything wrong. It's just these people that are from my previous life. Instead of this video, I could be editing my vlog right now of me going to my friend's drag show. Follow them on Instagram. Follow them on this, you know? Oh, hey, here's my friend. I taught him how to scream. Check out our new song, you know? Instead of that, I'm making a video trying to, like, talk about the accusations they've all thrown against me. It's like Game of Thrones out here. I love you. I will always love you, even if you hate me. I thank everyone that reached out to me before this video, like all of my fans that actually reached out to me and said very kind things. I really appreciate you. Like, you guys are the best. I've been able to meet a lot of people that, you know, I look up to. I love all of you guys too. I'm sure there's gonna be some musicians looking at this. I will continue to upload content on this channel. I will not be changing my name. I've been making more music the past couple months than I have for like the previous year and a half. Thank you guys to whoever supported Hard Knock. I was on that song as well. There's a couple more songs that Tala's got that I'm a part of. I really hope you guys enjoy that. And I hope you guys like continue to support them, you know, like afterwards as well. I don't know what my future holds regarding Tala. It's most likely I'll never be in the band again. Either way, I love Tala. The success of Tala makes me happy. They got on a 𝗂𝗄𝗄𝗄 tour. I love 𝗂𝗄𝗄𝗄𝗄. It sucks that I can't be on that shit, but it is what it is. And be really careful with your friends, and be really careful with what you say. And just understand you're going to make mistakes when you're young, and even when you're older. Thanks for watching. Bye!